Okay, great. This is so good. Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm Jessie Van Amberg, and welcome back to Cook With Us, our show where we invite some of our favorite people in the world to come and cook with us. Today, I'm so excited to be here with Lesley Téllez. So Lesley, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, hi, thank you for having me, first of all. So I'm a mom, I'm a writer. I wrote a cookbook about almost 5 years ago now about Mexican cooking in Mexico City, yeah. And I also run a food tour company in Mexico City that gives street and market food tours to people who travel there, yeah.
As you know, we have a little bit of a challenge for you. We would love for you to run with something that you're really excellent at, Mexican cooking. So we would love for you to make a healthy Mexican meal, but there are a couple of parameters. It has to be high protein. It cannot involve tacos, burritos, or burrito bowls. And it has to come together in 30 minutes or less. How does that sound?
Oh, it sounds good. The time is I'm a little worried about the time, honestly, but.
That's why it's a challenge.
Yes, I'm a pro, I know I can do it. I'm used to having kids running around asking me stuff, so if I don't have kids around, I think this is feeling good.
Okay, well, good news for you is I'm leaving, but before I do, tell us what you're gonna make and then I'll go start the timer.
Yes. So I'm gonna make a really fast and simple chicken tostadas using, yes, very good, with baked chicken thighs. So yeah, it's gonna be good.
I'm really excited to try it in 30 minutes. I will see you later.
Okay, bye. Okay, so a tostada basically starts with a tortilla. It's a crispy tortilla. Usually it's fried in Mexico. Luckily here, you can also find packaged tostadas. They're really simple, they're delicious, very easy to use. So it's basically a crispy corn tortilla, and we're gonna put stuff on top. So we're gonna put a layer of refried beans that we're gonna make from scratch. Some baked chicken thighs are gonna go diced on top of that. And then we're gonna make a shredded cabbage slaw. Tangy, it's gonna be chilling in the refrigerator while we do the rest of the stuff. And it's just gonna add a lot of really yummy texture and bite to the tostada. Okay, so first things first, I actually already preheated the oven. So while that's warming up, I wanna get started on the slaw because we want that to have all the flavors combining and really start to amp up in the refrigerator while the chicken is cooking. So the first thing we need to do is to cut this very massive green cabbage in half because we're not gonna use the whole thing. I love using fresh cabbage. I love the crunchiness. So I'm gonna quarter it and then just start slicing very thinly. And I really just eyeball it. The amount of cabbage is up to you that you wanna use. Maybe if you have a particularly large cabbage, you only wanna use a quarter of it. Put it in our bowl. I'm feeling the pressure with the time already, and I haven't even gotten very far. No, but I'm good, this is good. I don't have anybody yelling mama right now, so I'm very calm. The one thing about this slaw is you want it to be salty, like saltier than you think. When we start combining all the ingredients, you'll see that I'm gonna put a very hefty dose of salt in there. It's because you also want it to stand up on the tostada. If you don't salt it enough, it's kind of gonna taste blah. So we wanna make sure we add enough salt. So we have our cabbage. The next thing we're gonna do is grate a carrot. How am I on time? Okay, doing good. I think I'm only gonna use half of this carrot. It's already been washed, so I saved myself a little bit of time there. Usually I like to just grate it directly on the box grater, just like this. None of this is perfect. None of this is like, it's all kind of rustic. This is enough carrot, like a hefty handful. We're gonna put it in our bowl. The next thing we wanna do is get our cilantro. And I am gonna clean off my cutting board. Usually I'm very fastidious about that. Okay, so a nice big hefty handful of cilantro. This is all to taste. Don't use it, of course, if you think it tastes like soap. You can use parsley or something like that. So we're gonna cut our cilantro. I love cilantro and I love the stems. The stems are delicious, so please make sure you add the stems and cut the stems. Okay, I better hurry because I gotta get this chicken ready. Okay, so we're gonna add our salt. I'm just gonna sort of sprinkle it on. Is that a lot of salt? Yes, that's a lot of salt, but it's gonna work. Mix it together with your hands. And then we're gonna do just a super fast dressing. I love this pineapple vinegar from Rancho Gordo. It's really good on any cold salads. I love it on. It just has a little bit more sweetness and tanginess. Or if you don't have it, you could also just use apple cider or plain old white vinegar works. Just like a tablespoon of vinegar and a tablespoon of olive oil. You know, if you want more dressing, feel free to double it up. I just like it lightly coating the cabbage. Okay, so whisk, 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 fast, fast, fast. against the clock. Okay, here we go. Just gonna scrape it in here. Okay, so this is gonna go in the fridge. We will let that sit and get to the next thing. Chicken goes into the bowl. We want just a little drizzle of olive oil to make it sort of golden toasty. A little salt, some pepper. I don't put too much pepper. My son complains it's spicy, so I don't do a lot of pepper. That's the other good thing about this dish is that everybody can make it the way that they want. So you don't have to worry about, my son, for instance, doesn't eat spicy, but he can eat this because the chicken just has salt and pepper on it. Mama, who loves spicy food, I can put hot sauce, which is great. Okay, so this goes into the oven and we're gonna set a timer for 20 minutes. So while we're doing that, now I'm gonna warm up the pan for the beans. Next, we're gonna do the refried beans. I learned this technique in cooking school. And basically what we're gonna do is cut just a small piece, maybe a quarter or an eighth of a small white onion. And that is gonna go into the pan. You can use any neutral cooking oil if you want, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. So once it's hot and it already looks hot, we're gonna add our onion wedge and 1 clove of peeled garlic, also whole. So that looks like it needs to be hotter. I'm gonna blast it a little bit more. How am I on time? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna blister this onion and garlic so the olive oil really gets infused with that onion and garlic flavor. And then from there, I'm gonna fish out the onion and garlic, put those aside, and I'm gonna add in the beans and some water just to create sort of a nice mashed consistency. Well, I guess it's not healthy, but you can also use lard. That's the most traditional in Mexico. Check on these, all right. So, ooh, you can see the garlic. The garlic has a really nice brown blister to it, which is great. You don't wanna burn it, so if you feel like the heat is too high, then you can lower it. So this garlic is done. And so yeah, as the onion pieces are blistering and browning, go ahead and remove them. So now you're gonna add your beans, and please don't wear your super best clothing for this and stand back because it is gonna splatter, okay? The fun of cooking. Okay, grab your masher. Once it's not as angry, mash. And you know, it's easier to do if you hold on to the pan with one hand. If you don't have a masher, any flat surface, so like a cup, a coffee mug, something like that would work. I don't want these like really, really even, like an even smooth bean, you know, paste. That's not really what I want. So you can sort of see a little bit what we're going for. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and taste these and see how much salt I need to add. Okay. I definitely want a lot of salt. Again, I like salty because this is gonna go on the tostada and you want, you know, these layers of flavor. So salt, also cumin, wonderful spice. I use it on almost everything. It's just gonna add a little bit more flavor to your beans. So we'll stir these around. Oh no, I think that's good. Okay. Just a hint of cumin, not too much. So we're just gonna let that cook for a minute, 5 minutes. I'm also gonna prepare some of the garnishes right now while we're finishing. Really, there's only one thing to chop, which is to cut up your lime wedges. So one thing I really crave in Mexican cooking is heat and acidity. When I lived in Mexico City, lime wedges are with everything. They come with every meal. So we wanna I like to have a lime wedge on everyone's plate and then they can put however much they want on top of their tostada. Okay, so I'm gonna check the beans and make sure they're not sticking to the bottom of the pan. All right, it's pretty good. Okay. So for the tostadas, these are the tostadas that I use. You can find them in pretty much any Mexican supermarket. But yeah, charras are really good. They also keep for a while in the pantry. So the tostadas with beans, I actually like to get a low sodium brand usually, because then you can add as much salt as you want. We are gonna put crema on top of our tostadas. I like having this touch of creaminess and a little bit of cooling on the tostadas. And what else? Oh, this hot sauce I brought is my absolute favorite hot sauce in the world. It's this brand called El Machete. It's made by this guy in LA. If anybody is in LA, go to the Hollywood Farmers Market on Sunday and buy his hot sauce. He makes it from scratch. I'm gonna go ahead and get the slaw out. All right, I'm gonna check on the chicken, see how we're doing. Pretty much done. We're gonna cut, again, just bite-sized pieces. So just small pieces. All right, so we have our tostada that I thoughtfully already put on a plate. We're gonna add a slather of refried beans, chicken, hefty portion of slaw, just a few dollops of crema. Can I just do that? Okay, there, done. All right, I think I did it.
All right, I'm back. I'm very excited about this.
I'm excited too. I'm a little nervous. I hope you like it. Squeeze your lime.
Okay.
And then we for sure want to put hot sauce on top.
So getting a little bit of the lime on there.
Yeah. Right, just a little bit.
Perfect.
Cheers.
Okay. And that hot sauce is so good. All right, so now that I've had a few bites, I'm ready to judge. And as a reminder, we're judging you today on ease, creativity, nutrition, and flavor. So I think you get top marks in flavor, which should not be any kind of surprise to you. Yes. I thought this was completely delicious. Like, there weren't a lot of complicated spices in here, but then you bite into it and it's so well-rounded and flavorful in so many surprising ways that I think it's just completely delicious, blew me away. So I think you come in first, or you rank the highest for flavor, and then coming in next is nutrition. You delivered on double fronts with kind of the high protein challenge, because obviously we get that with the chicken. You also get that with the beans, which I think is really great. Lots of vegetables in here. There is a lot of salt in there, and it tastes delicious. And I understand why you use it, but just sort of like, that's like a little bit less, but overall this is like a super healthy option, which I really like.
Also, you mentioned the sodium, which I see your point. I will concede. But if you want to try to cut out the sodium or make it a little less salty, you can start with the low sodium beans. You don't have to really add as much salt as I did. Maybe use the vinegar as the thing that's going to amp up the slaw instead of salting the cabbage.
The next category you're ranking on is creativity. I think too, a lot of Well+Good readers, they're probably super familiar with like a taco and a burrito and that kind of thing. So I like that we're bringing something that's different. And you're coming in last on ease, but I think only because it would be easier if you didn't have like a clock telling you to be done in 30 minutes. Like, I imagine it would probably take like maybe 40 minutes if you didn't have to kind of like juggle around with a bunch of different things and you could just make things one at a time.
For sure. And also, with the meat, you can use something you've already cooked. So if you've already made chicken, or you've already made something, you've made a roast chicken.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Cook With Us. Thank you all for coming and joining us as well. If you like what you saw, please be sure to subscribe so you can keep watching new ones. For those of you at home, the full recipe is in the description below. If you have any questions that come up while cooking, please leave them in the comments and we will try and help you. Back to my tostada.
I know, yes.
See you next time on Cook With Us. Bye, everyone.